What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I am your host, Josh, and today it's transfer deadline day. And I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of pretty angry Dortmund fans coming on here. I understand it. I'm one of you. I'm absolutely one of you. Not the most ideal end to the window. We have a lot to talk about. Honestly, we signed a player, so hallelujah. we got our center back makeshift right back in. Martin Pongračić has come in on a loan deal with an option to buy. We'll get into a little bit more details on that. But honestly, I woke up this morning with just something in my gut telling me that the Hudson-Odoi deal was going to happen. It was in my gut. It was a gut decision. I was wrong. It did not look like it's going to happen. It's been stated that Dortmund are done with their transfer activity for this window, and a lot of people on Twitter were pretty upset, including myself, a little salty, but we're here to digest it all. I mean, there is still a little over an hour left in the window, so I will be streaming until it is officially closed with the slight little hope of a chance that something happened. I mean, Saul is still linked to Chelsea right now. If it goes down, probably won't mean anything, but we're here anyways. So before we dive into each story, let's just get into the chat. And Mike is here. Says the board needs to pull their heads out of their behinds and sign Tajon Buchanan. Buchanan signed for Club Brugge, my man. Not an option for us. L window. Can't wait for Kale to take over. I know, and it's weird that it feels like an L, and it feels like an L. I think because we were so close to signing Hudson-Odoi. And the targets we wanted, the back end, weren't coming in. It's hard to digest. It is because, I mean, we knew Sancho was going to leave. That wasn't a surprise. We got our primary target, which was Daniel Mullen. We thought a shift in shape was going to be the right thing to do to that 4-1-2-1-2. We saw injuries. We saw poor performances that made us think that we needed to address a couple things. Mainly a right back and a center back, which we brought in a player who, come on, let's be honest. Have you heard of him before? I mean, honestly, wouldn't have been a player I would have expected to come in. Looking into his background, I mean, I'm not taking a shot at the player because Pongračić, I think, is one of those risk-reward type signings that could be successful. Mainly because he got experience with Marco Rosa. He's looking to get into minutes, and at Wolfsburg, they're pretty solid at the back, and they don't have that opening for him where we desperately need an option to, one, we have almost no center backs, and two, we can maybe play a three at the back formation with him. So I don't mind the transfer. Coming from a lot of other Dortmund fans, though, that it's just not the household name you may have wanted. And on top of that, in my opinion, from the opening few matches, and it is, and I had a couple of you guys reaching out on Twitter, and I was in a salty kind of mood, so you guys were able to kind of relax me a little bit. But the big issue I had going into this, and it was something I've been saying for a while, was I'm nervous to see how a 4-1-2-1-2 can play over the majority of his season, because in my opinion, I don't see it as a successful formation. I think it's a formation you sprinkle in every once in a while. And I've been very open about that. I've talked about that a lot on the channel. That is just, it's a system you don't see that often, and it's a reason for it. There's a reason you don't see the 4-1-2-1-2 played by any big clubs around the world. Zero. And there is a reason why. Now, when we played our games this season, we looked iffy. We played in the 4-2-3-1 in the Frankfurt game and the Pokal, and guess what? We won and looked pretty decent. And then we reverted to try to introduce Daniel Mullen or Makuku back into the 11, and we went into a 4-1-2-1-2. I didn't like our performance against Bayern. I didn't like our performance against Freiburg, obviously. It was a very poor performance. And I really didn't like our performance against Hoffenheim. However, like a viewer pointed out, Josh, relax. We didn't have our back four. We had Witsel playing at the back. I mean, there is a bunch of reasons for it. But I think it's cause for concern. Because the back end, yes, was questionable. But a lot of the creativity was kind of dense. Because we didn't have that wide shape. And I think being able to play a 4-2-3-1 or any winger formation is very important for this team. Signing a winger, it didn't have to become Hudson-Odoi, but signing a winger allows us to do that. Now that we don't, we're stuck playing another risk kind of situation where if we do play a 4-2-3-1, we're going to have to play Royce out wide, potentially Gio out wide. We have Hazard, who has been riddled with injuries over the years, so who knows how healthy he'll be. We have Canal, who's now with our U23s, and we have Renier, who is Renier. We don't know what we're going to expect from him because we've barely seen him play. It's a cause for concern. It really is. The only bright side at formation-wise we can take out of today is that Pongračić can allow us to play maybe a 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2, depending on who's available. But there, that's my little vent sesh for the day. And that's what I'm worried about, because I think to be successful, we're going to have more than the 4-1-2-1-2 and primarily have a preferred formation going forward. I don't know what's going to be. Maybe we do start Mauling out. If Hazard can stay healthy, that makes me a little bit more exciting. But anyways, I've been talking a lot. Let's get into some comments today. But I will read something out for you guys who are just tuning in. And this is what Zorc had to say. He said, with Daniel Mauling, we have signed our desired player. We've changed our goalkeeper position, and we've now reacted once again to the defensive area. Reaction also in the response to our injury situation, and I think that we're very well positioned. I don't think that's going to go down very well with a lot of us, to be honest. It's what Zorc has to say. It's very simple. He has to address it. But I bet you if you go on Twitter right now, there's going to be a lot of quote tweets of people getting very, very upset with that, because it's not ideal. It's not ideal. I think we needed a winger. I think we also needed a right back. And we got a center back, which, fine, who can shift to right back, maybe. And we left a couple big holes in our team here. But let's go into the chat. Finally, not the best day to buy. No, it's not. Luke Carey says, awful day. Tejan the balance. Josh, what did I say yesterday about going from almost getting Hudson-Odoi and Delo to some random third choice? Yeah, had a few of you guys reach out to me on Twitter, and yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I just felt like the panic was going to set in, and it was going to really do something to Dortmund to push their hand. Now, they went out and signed a defensive reinforcement, which was obvious. We needed another center back, probably more than anything else, considering we went last year with 3. And we have a bunch of injuries. Now, it's still funny. Now, I really hope Pongračić can be a gem because we need it, but he has an injury record as well, which is very nerve-wracking. But we're going to have to see, guys. We're going to have to see. If you're just tuning in today, though, guys, be sure to drop a like. Subscribe if you guys are new. Put your comments in. I'm going to ask a question later in the chat about how you guys thought our window went. Because, yeah, I don't know. The whole transfer window was a big L. Ooh, we'll go over the details of who went in and who went out of Dortmund just to kind of get more perspective, because I do think there's some good things to take away. Gregor Kobel is a massive, massive W from this window, in my opinion. Being stuck with Berkey is a massive L on his wages. We still have Wolf. Wolf is going to play a role now, guys. Maybe it's right back, maybe it's wing back, maybe it's as an attacking mid, which I keep forgetting to put him in our depth charts, because it's Wolf. But I'll have to see. If no other players come in, what's your prediction for finishing this league? I'm still going to say second place. Second place. Was a bit of a disappointing window. Didn't address near the amount we needed to, but we can still make it work in terms of using a different system. We still have the personnel to play a few different formations. I mean, when everyone's healthy again, we have Kobel. Meunier will be the right back, guys. I know. He'll be the right back. You have a Kanji Hummels as your center back. Guerrero left back. You can now put Witsel back up into the midfield if you wanted to. You have Bellingham. You have Dahoud there. A little bit further from that, you then have Gio Brandt you can implement in. You have Royce still. If you do look out wide, you can, like I said, you can always shift Royce out there. You can try to shift Mauling out there. You can have Hazard. You can put Canal, Wolf. And then up front, you can still have Mauling, Holland, Mukuku. I mean, even Tigges. There is depth. It's making it hard for us to play specific ways. I think that 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1 will be hopefully an important formation coming forward. Hello, bro. Why did the Callum Hudson-Odoi transfer not go through? Because we didn't find a team for Wolf? No. So I will read kind of the reports around the Callum Hudson-Odoi. It had nothing to do. We did everything on our part, and I believe the player himself did everything. You want to blame one person, you blame Tuchel. But this is what we read. Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't going anywhere in the final hours of the transfer window. According to the latest reports, Chelsea are not changing their stance on his immediate future. He was linked for Dortmund for the last couple of days with the possibility was open, which was a loan move, but the deal is off the table and it's not going to happen anytime soon. Even if Chelsea were willing to do the deal, which they certainly don't look to, any departure was said to be dependent on incoming signing before tonight's deadline, and nothing looks to be going through in regards to Saul and Koundé, which is a pathetic excuse because Saul and Koundé do not play Callum Hudson-Odoi's position. Saul is a center midfielder, and Koundé is a center back. Hudson-Odoi is a winger who plays as a wing back, so I don't know. Anyways, it says Hudson-Odoi wanted to make the move because he's obviously looking for more opportunities to play. Didn't happen, and now the deal is off the table. And then following that, like I said, Zorc tweeted out, or it was tweeted out that we were not looking to do any other transfer this window. So very disappointing. Very disappointing. I was excited about the Hudson-Odoi one, but. Hi, Josh. How are you, broski? Disappointed. A little disappointed with the deadline today. I wanted 2 signings in. I thought that was really important. One in the attack, one in the defense. Trying to be realistic about it. Pongračić is a decent signing. Like I said, he will be able to cover a couple positions, but it wasn't exactly what we needed. Well, it was, but we needed more. We needed more to that. Spain without the S from JJD TV fan. Did Freiburg buy one? I don't know, my man. I do not know. Tuchel and Abramovich being babies because we didn't sell them Holland, apparently. Hi, all. Robert, how you doing, my man? Soccer Life says, I love this channel. I liked and subbed. My channel is Soccer Life. I appreciate the like and sub, my man. Sabitzer, yeah, excellent signing for Bayern. Where do you think Dortmund will do in the Champions League? I think the bare minimum Dortmund should target is the quarterfinals, but we'll have to see. All right, I needed to get a goalkeeper. We did. I needed to get a place for Sancho. We got Malen. We needed a center back for depth. We got it. We didn't get we didn't get a new right back, so it's not that bad. Yeah, I think the reaction of not getting the defensive probably reinforcement we were expecting has rubbed some people the wrong way, as well as not getting the winger. But we'll get into that a little bit further on in the stream of how we're gonna rate our transfer window. A lot of the time, the best deals are the ones that you don't make. There's a lot of talent in this club, first team, and elsewhere. A lot of the deadline day hype. Yeah, and it's not even about not bringing in a player. In my opinion, guys, and I've had some pushback on this, so you guys don't agree, feel free to comment. My biggest issue is, like I said, going into this season, hearing that Marco Rose was going to play a 4-1-2-1-2, I thought, well, crap. Because I didn't see Holland being successful in that kind of role. I didn't see that being a system that you use throughout the entirety of the season. You need to be able to play a modern day type of football when you're a team like Dortmund. That is your 4-3-3. That is your 4-2-3-1. We don't have the personnel for that. That is a fact. Adding someone like Hudson-Odoi would have been really helpful because you could have had more depth to it. Hudson-Odoi could have been on the wing, or any winger at that point could have been on the wing. You still had Hazard up there. You can play Malen on the side. There was options. Without that, you're going to play someone out of position. Hazard, if he's healthy, can play on one of the wings, and that's a big if. And then you have Malen, who may have to go out of position. Royce will have to go out of position. Gio may maybe have to go out of position. I desperately hope not Brandt, but he's an option. Or players who are just not up to the quality yet. Wolf, Renier. And the wild card could be Knauf, but I mean, considering he's not getting reps now, I'm not holding my breath. So I'm really curious to see what Marco Rose is going to do formation-wise. I'm not a big fan of the 4-1-2-1-2. It will be good in strategic situations, but I'm hoping a back three with the signing of Pongračić will be helpful, and we'll have to see. But I do take your point. It's an opportunity for Gio to step up, but you can't force players to play out of position. We've seen it before. Gio and Brandt are 2 of the perfect examples for that. So maybe, in my opinion, the best formation right now is a 3-4-2-1. 3-4-2-1, guys. That is the best formation. Number one reason for that is because it plays to the strengths of wingbacks, especially Guerrero. Hummel's having a safety net. It'd be perfect. Hummel's the essential center back, Akanji, and now Pongračić. We signed him. Let's see what he can do. Our midfields will be self-explanatory, and then take your pick for our cams, Holland up front. Malen should stay on the wing. And he played on the wing out in the Hoffenheim match. He did. We need to play with wingers. I have faith in Knauf. Wolf is the backup winger for Reina. Malen and Hazard, even Guerrero can deploy as wingers. And that's an interesting point. So, I mean, I like that you have faith in Knauf. It doesn't seem like Marco Rose does at the moment. So that is a concern, because I don't know what Knauf is going to do. Wolf is a backup, like you said, and I don't expect that to change. Gio shouldn't play on the wings. Brandt shouldn't play on the wings. Those type of players should play centrally. You could play Royce. Royce has been shifted out a little bit. He doesn't like it as much. He's a central player now, but you can force his hand. Malen, I think, like we saw in the Hoffenheim game, he drifted out to the wing. He didn't want to run into the space that Holland needs to be successful. So I really think this year Malen will be used from time to time as a wing. Hazard, but the interesting one is Guerrero. If we played a 4-2-3-1, you could push him up, and we have Nico Schultz for coverage. So that's interesting. I don't personally see it happening, but we'll have to wait and see. Ooh, a new member to the channel, Max. I appreciate the membership, my man. Welcome to the JJD TV membership community. You've joined the likes of White, who's also a member. I appreciate the support, my man. If any of you guys are just tuning in, though, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to our growing community as we break down the final day of the transfer window. White says, Josh, hot take, but if we add Hudson-Odoi, we'd have stopped someone like Malen from developing. It's an okay way of looking at it. It depends. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is I wanted a winger to be able to play in a different system because I haven't enjoyed the 4-1-2-1-2. I have no faith that that's going to be our every game formation, and we lack it. But I mean, I look at Malen as a winger sort of now. I do, because I'm really hoping that he'll step up, man, and we'll get pushed out to the wing. Can you see any BVB youth players be giving a chance as no signings came in? I mean, the people who need to step up, or who could step up, Toby Raschel could have an opportunity playing through the midfield, Gruppus as well, and then Knauf on the wings. Other than that, not really. Maybe Papadopoulos / Maloney, but I doubt it considering we brought in a defensive coverage. Hit the like button. It's super easy, barely an inconvenience. I like that it's barely an inconvenience, my man. I appreciate it, Mike. BVB fans are very quick to jump in if a player makes a mistake. It's true. What I don't understand is that Cossack was available for 15 million plus add-on, so if we did need a Sancho replacement, we could have gone for him. Does the board think that Malen is going to explode or something? He could. I mean, what I saw from Malen's last game was enjoyable. It really was. I did like seeing Malen go out a little bit to the left-hand side, and I do think that you're going to see him out there from time to time because Marco Rosa, I do think, is a very intelligent manager. I think he's trying to make his system, which there's nothing wrong with doing. There's going to be games he uses the 4-1-2-1-2, and it will be successful. But he has to have other options, especially in this type of age. When a 4-1-2-1-2 can be shut down relatively easy, is because you congest that midfield, and you saw it in the Freiburg match. You are correct, though. 3-4-1-2 seems appropriate at the moment. You could even do a 3-4-2-1 and drop Malen with Royce or Gio and Royce and drop them under Holland, because I do still think Holland needs to play the lone striker. My preferred lineup right now, assuming everyone's fit. Oh, that's tough, because I want to say a 4-2-3-1, but I'll give you two, guys. This is what I would do, just to find width, because that is something I think is just so important in the Bundesliga. It really is. 3-4-2-1 would be Kobel, right wing back. Meunier, outside right center back, would be our new signing. Pongračić, we'll have to see how he does there, but he could also play Chan, even though he's going to be out for some time now, which is a shame. Then you have Hummels at your central center back, which plays to his strength because he's much better in a back three. You have Akanji on the left, Guerrero as a wing back, which again plays to his strength because Guerrero is by far better as a wing back than a fullback. Your two midfields, I'd probably just go Bellingham to Hood. Your two cams, probably Gio and Royce for the time being. That leaves Malen out in this system. And then Holland up front. Or you do a 4-2-3-1. Where you have Kobel net, same. Or no, it's back four now. So it'd be Meunier. It would be Hummels, Akanji, Guerrero. Your two CB or your CDMs would be still probably Bellingham to Hood, but you could put Witsel in there. Gio as your cam. Royce out on the right. Malen on the left. And up front is Holland. So yeah, there you are. What's up with Hudson-Odoi? We will not sign him. I rate our window at 6 out of 10. Yep. Let me know now, guys. I'll go through them all. What out of 10, how do you rate this transfer window? We've addressed the keeper situation, which is a huge win, and Kobel looks like he fits the bill. So that alone is massive to me. Didn't get the right back we wanted. However, I said it at the beginning and was kind of thinking it might change, but we have Meunier, and knowing how the board runs, you have someone who was successful at Euros playing at your right back. I was going to be surprised if we did go all out on a right back. I said a center back who could play right back was probably what they would do. That is exactly what they did. So I'm not overly surprised with that. And I didn't expect the right back. I did expect a center back. And we got Pongračić, who can play as a center back, an outside center back, and as a right back from time to time. So kind of a W, considering a lot of you guys wanted St. Just / Lacroix, which, probably wasn't realistic. Then it goes to the middle of the park. We let Delaney leave. Didn't really replace him, but we do have Witsel coming back, so, And then the winger position, we let Sancho go. We signed Malen, who is technically a striker, likes to play in a dual system, but maybe can be successful in the wing. And that's about it. So, I think a 6 out of 10 is pretty fair. I'd say something like that. And I think that's probably the big one. But I believe not only did we bring in a keeper, we upgraded a keeper. I agree with you. He will save us value points this season. Beautiful game. I agree with you. And we saw it already. The Hoffenheim game was already a clear example of what a step up Kobel is and a big plus in this window. Who's the biggest threat to finishing second aside from Bayern? Probably. That's tough because I would say Leipzig, but I also said a few times that Jesse Marsch is gonna struggle this year. I still think I would put Leipzig, even though Wolfsburg is showing that they're here to play. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I still am gonna go with Leipzig just because I think they have too much talent not to make it work. If I was a manager and Holland left, I would have bought Paco. I wouldn't have bought Paco. Paco's came, he saw, conquered, and he left. He wouldn't be the type I wanted. What's up, Josh? Who do you want to go to Dortmund? I wanted Hudson-Odoi, or just any winger at that point, but obviously it's not going to happen. Which is, it's okay. We got to move on. Got to find a way to make it work, and we do have some talent here. Tom has an interesting thing, which I did see today. Volt's contract was extended by 1 year to 2024 and 2019. Can you see him playing this season? I think that he showed some promise. Yes, he will absolutely play this season, and he has to, because we didn't go out and sign him. If you have him there, you use him. And maybe we'll be surprised. Marius Wolf could be handy for a wing back, especially if we play in that 3-4-2-1 and Hazard is Hazard and he may be injured and Meunier is Meunier and he may underperform. Maybe that right wing back spot is a spot for Wolf. At right backs, I'd start him over Paslak, for example. And for depth going forward, we saw what he did in Hoffenheim when he came off the bench out on the wings where we have almost no options. So Wolf will definitely be used this year, 100%. Hey, Josh, do you think Malen can do a job on the wing? I do think we should have signed Noni gutted. Yes, it would have been nice to sign Noni, but like I said, guys, we wouldn't have been able to bring him in. We didn't have that type of money. We had money for one signing. It was Malen. So the Noni signing was never going to happen. Even the St. Just one was very questionable. I do think Malen can do a job on the wing. And if you guys were watching the Hoffenheim game, we started out in our 4-1-2-1-2, and I'm not even sure exactly which shape we ended up pushing towards the end, because I couldn't really tell who was playing out on the right-hand side. If it was Royce, if it was Gio, they kept kind of intertwining with each other. But Malen definitely veered out to the left-hand side. He picked up the ball on the left hand, and he cut in. He was taking shots. He looked like a winger. And guys, feel free to add to that. If you agree with me, if you think, Josh, no, I think he just happened to veer away from the striker positions in those situations. But to me, towards the second half of the game, he absolutely looked like he was playing as a winger. And that's my opinion. I do think Malen will be important because, like I said, I don't think we're going to kill the 4-1-2-1-2. But I think it should only be used in specific games, and Malen will be useful there, and hopefully Malen will also be useful out on the wing. Josh Rosa is very flexible. He may change his formations if needed, and I hope so, because realistically, even with the players we have, the 4-1-2-1-2, the 4-2-3-1, the 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1 are all formations that this team can play. We weren't able to play with a back three yet because we have no center backs. So hopefully Hummel stays fit. Akanji has been doing the job. We just signed a center back who I'm praying Pongračić comes good and he can stay fit. And then after that, we do have Chan, we do have Zagadou, we do have Koulibaly, all injured. I would not bank on them, but it looks like we may have some options now that we can try out a back three. It's clear to me a lot of fans have low expectations for this club. And that is something that I've had people reach out to me every time I say, I'd be happy with this player, I'd be happy with this player. They say, Josh, Like how low are your expectations? And it's not low expectations, it's being a realist. It's taking a look at your club and understanding the type of signings that you're going to get, which is why Noni was a phenomenal winger, wasn't one we were going to sign. We had enough money from the Sancho money to bring in one signing. It was Malen, balanced the books, dealt with COVID, and then strategic loan deals. And I mean, honestly, Callum Hudson-Odoi on a loan deal would have been a good one. It would have been a good one for this season. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But Josh, hot take, we added Hudson-Odoi. Oh, I read that one. Kobelid's a plus. Berkey is staying is a big minus. Malen to Sancho is sadly an expected downgrade. Mounier is still struggling, and we still stuck with the bench warmers. 3-4 out of 10 window. He makes some decent points. I think it's a little harsh because, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get from Malen yet. We did address a center back. But I mean, a lot of, and it's different because a lot of the BVB fan base expected a right back. I didn't. I said that a lot. I said there's no, like the Delo one would have surprised me if we were able to pull it off. I would have liked it, don't get me wrong. I would have been surprised. I expected a center back. Pongračić was not the center back I was expecting, but we got it done. I'm excited to see what he can do. And I expected a downgrade-ish from Sancho to Malen. So, yeah, I mean, at 4s, I think it's a little harsh. 5 to 6 is probably what you should be expecting. But a lot of comments are coming in, guys. If I don't get your comment, feel free to ask it again. Be sure to drop a like, though, guys, on the stream right now if you guys want to say you're excited for deadline day. But, I mean, I don't know if that's the attitude going on right now. But drop a like, help the channel, subscribe as well. And if you haven't put your rating out of 10 yet for our window, feel free to do so. We are playing people out of position. We are filling necessary holes. We put so much faith on teenagers. We sell big players. We don't make up for it properly, and people still think we did well. Yeah. I mean, 5-6 is how it's supposed to go. But I mean, it's a transfer window what I was expecting with one less signing. If we would have pulled off the Hudson-Odoi, I think there would have been a bigger turnout for number wise. I bet you we would see more of like a 7 to 8, just because it would have been a position we desperately needed, an exciting young player. But I mean, got to take some positivity where it comes from. We don't know what Malen's going to do. We don't know how Pongračić is going to do. This could be an absolute steal. We got him in on a loan. He will probably play. And we'll have to see what kind of player he's going to get. Someone who's familiar with Marco Rosa's system as well. Kobel is the best BVB player that we've signed in the last 4 years. He is a massive plus from this window. I'm not a huge Dortmund fan, but my favorite player from Dortmund is Guerrero. Guerrero is a beautiful. Good doing business with you guys. Imposter Snape. Yeah, Imposter Snape. If you're still on the stream by the time I got to your comment, just give me like a quick sentence on your take on Pongračić. I'm curious because for you guys that don't know, Imposter Snape is a big Wolfsburg fan. So just give me a highlight. Just give me something that maybe Dortmund fans should be excited about. If you have a take like that, I'm curious. Maybe Koulibaly, Kamara can play a bit at the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, Kamara's a good shout, and honestly, so is Koulibaly. The injury will be interesting to see how he does. We'll have to see. Where do you think the BVB will finish? Is winning realistic? Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. I was expecting, honestly, a bit of a different window. Just with some strategic deals. Like, for example, there was no reason we couldn't have pulled off the Hudson-Odoi deal. If Chelsea was willing to play ball, we could have got a player like Hudson-Odoi in. And it looked like Dortmund was going to look elsewhere. They chose not to. And those are some of the decisions that bug me. And I think it will hurt. I do. I think there's going to be games that are going to throw me back to the last few years where we go into a game and you look at the starting 11 and you're just like, F. How does this the starting 11 we're going to put out? And those will be drastically important points that we drop. And it's just a reality when you don't have that kind of depth and you have these injuries, because we have players who are riddled with injuries over the years. Zagadou is a huge one. You guys all know that. Guerrero does pick up injuries from time to time as well, but I mean, for the most part, he is a pretty fit player. We had the injury to Witsel. I'm hoping that this year he can stay fit. Big one for me is Hazard. He's a massive player who hasn't quite lived up to his potential here, and he's always injured, and we have no other wingers. So we need players to stay fit. We really do. And yeah, I don't know, man. Malen is going to be really important in Mullen really improved in the Hoffenheim match. I'd give some of our players some chances because a lot of people forget that we have a new manager. Old players can totally improve under Rosa. That is true, and I thought so as well. Like I thought Mullen was important in that game, and I thought that there was reasons to be optimistic about him. I mean, I loved our first game formation. Royce was amazing. Thorgan was ice cold. Reyna was a superb, and Holland the lone striker doing what he does. Exactly. The 4-2-3-1. Royce was out on the wing along with Hazard. You had Gio through the middle, and you had Holland up front. I'm expecting something similar when we play systems like that. And you now have Mullen, who can now look to play as a wing. There will be some potential. Shame you guys didn't get Callum Hudson-Odoi. It is a shame. It really is. I thought it was a good move for us. It was a good move for Hudson-Odoi, and I don't know what was up Chelsea's butt, but clearly something. But I made my way down to our ratings. Our transfer window, 4 to 10, 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 3 to 4. Whew, man. 7 because of Kobel. There you go. 3, 6.5, 7, 5. 7.5 for you, 8 for us. Wolfsburg had an excellent transfer window, man. I honestly, 8 out of 10, I think it's a little low. I don't know how Wolfsburg realistically could have done any better. They kept all their players pretty much. They even got a couple good deals on the way out, and they really replenished that squad. Wolfsburg had probably the best window you could have found. The only thing I had question marks with was Mark van Bommel, and so far, besides the Pokal, he's 3 for 3 in the league. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably say a 5 to 6 out of 10 would be for me. But like I said, there's room for players to step up this year, and we'll have to see how they do. Dream lineup. Also, thanks for being family friendly. Me and my dad watch you all the time. Not a problem. JJD fan. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoy the channel. It means a lot. It's the reason we do what we do. But my dream lineup. Damn, that's hard. Because I have to drop somebody, and I don't know exactly who I want to drop. Honestly, for the next game, for example, I don't know. I honestly don't know. You know what? If I had to do it, I would give the 3-4-2-1 a try. My dream lineup. If I had one game balance, I'd go 3-4-2-1. I'd go Kobel in net, Meunier right wing back. Pray that he finds a way to get it done. Outside right center back. Give Pongračić a chance. See what this kid can do. He's got some speed, which is helpful there. Hummels through the middle. Akanji at outside left center back. Guerrero as your wing back, because Guerrero will be very, very important in that type of system. Have you two of the hottest midfielders, hopefully. We're going to find Dahoud needs to pick it up a little bit, in my opinion. Dahoud, Bellingham through the middle. If not, Bellingham and Witsel, because Dahoud is dangerous of losing that starting spot. Your two cams, I'd probably go Gio and Royce. You could also maybe try Mullen there, but probably Gio and Royce for now, Holland up front. That's my best 11 at current situation. I'm going to face Freiburg in career mode. I think we should give Pongračić a chance. Everybody's saying the same about Kobel, but look how he's turning out. Oh yeah, a lot of people are very underwhelmed about Pongračić because he wasn't a household name, but he is exactly what we needed. He's a center back, adds depth. He's an outside center back who can help us play in a back three. I'm not gonna, like I said, don't hold your breath that he'll ever play at right back, but he can. And he hopefully will play there instead of Paslak if the time asks for it. But we also have Wolf there. It's a decent signing, and it's not a risk. It's a loan with option to buy. So let's see how it happens. Josh, I will be watching your stream in the early hours of the UK morning time zone. Watch Canada's opening World Cup qualifiers and match against Honduras. What channel will be screening the game? In Canada, we got to get... you have to get One Soccer. That's how I'm watching it. The U.S. game will be on TSN, I believe. What's your take on Berkey not wanting to move to FC Basel? I don't blame Berkey, guys. And I know it's a lot of you guys are like, well, what the F? Well, you know what? We gave him the contract. It is what it is. It's not Berkey's fault he's making what he is. We offered him the contract. That goes back to the board. There was red flags with Berkey since he got signed for the club, so I'm not going to have sympathy on offering him a stupid contract. Don't do it then. Be more strategic. Don't give contracts to people like Schultz, Wolf, Berkey, because now you're stuck with them. So I don't put that on the player. I think it's a lack of ambition for Berkey, but I mean, we saw that at the tail end of last season. I mean, he's not going to touch the pitch for us this year. Any way we don't play Kobel, it's going to be hits. Berkey is not wanted here. He's not welcomed here. He's stuck here. And there's nothing we can do about it because there's only ourselves to blame. So I don't blame Berkey for not going. I wish there was a way that it could have worked out where Berkey's like, all right, well, I want to play. I'll go over back to Switzerland, my home. Dortmund will cover a lot of the wages, but not all the wages. And Basel will cover the other ones, but wasn't the case. He wanted to make sure he got every cent he could have got, and you can't blame the player. We offered him the contract. I'm sorry, that's just how it works. Poor contracts, I mean, all it shows is there's a lack of ambition for Berkey, but it is not his fault for not wanting to leave. It is ours. Who's your top 5 teams that have the potential of beating Bayern this season? I don't think anyone has the potential of beating Bayern this season. I thought we did, and I'm really questioning that. But I do still think that there is reason to think that you never know. I mean, Bayern is Bayern. It is going to be hard to dethrone them. Watching their last match against, their one match against FC Cologne, I think was room to be optimistic about. I thought it was a really poor match from them, but they followed it up and absolutely ran over Hertha. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But if I'm going to give you my top 5 teams, Bayern, Dortmund, I still think Leipzig, but I mean, honestly, it could be Wolfsburg at this point. And then Leipzig, take your pick. And then, honestly, Leverkusen, because Gladbach looks awful so far. Next year, we should go for Kulusevski, guys. I don't see Juve letting him go, but I don't know. Do you think that we will make some transfers this window? Nope. It's been stated that unless something drastically changes, it's said that we're not going to make any more deals. So we did all of our business this transfer window. How many goals do you think that Mullen can get? 7 to 10. 7 to 10. Somewhere in there. Dortmund were linked to any... Were Dortmund linked to any CONCACAF youngsters? I don't think so. I would have said I would have took them at Araujo, but don't forget Kamara can also play as a center back. He can. He may be an important little one. He may be an important little player for us. But we'll have to wait and see. Please, Wolfsburg, win the Bundesliga. You can break the Bayern curse. That'd be a tough ask. I don't think Wolfsburg will be able to do it over this season, but I think that they're showing real strides that they're going to be a Champions League contenders. Josh, you agree that when Holland leaves, we buy a winger, not a striker, and use Mullen and Mukuku on the bench? Yeah, I think that was the game plan. My logic for signing Mullen instead of a traditional winger was we now have our coverage. So when Holland leaves, Mullen will then take on that striker role and we will sign a proper winger. But it depends. Maybe if Mullen plays all season as a winger, he may shift to a winger. I don't know, but I believe that was their logic. Players in was pretty good, all things considered. Of course, we still have like some of the players to leave. Health is a big factor. We still have Brandt and Renier to step up. Yeah, not holding my breath on that, but I agree. Mullen is good, but not Sancho. Kobel is great, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 seems to be the norm. Wanted Sancho playing at the stadium 2 days ago. He needs time at United. I see Brandt doing well this season. Max has been banging on that tree all the time, and I mean, I'm not going to say no because the option is there. I think it's going to be hard for him. I don't see a starting 11 where Brandt actually comes in unless Gio goes out. So, like I said, it's going to be one or the other. But anything's possible this season. Somebody, somewhere is going to need to step up for this team and really take that starting role on. Josh, hopefully with the signing of the new center half, BVB will move Axel back in the midfield. If Axel's still playing at center half, BVB will struggle. I agree with you, my man. I agree with you. And that is definitely what it is going to mean. Plus, our entire back line was injured. We're going to get players back. I mean, Meunier's back, Guerrero's back. Hummels hopefully will be able to keep that fitness going. Akanji's been a rock for us, and now we have an option back there. And Pongračić seems energized. There's been videos of him already. So we're going to have to see. Zagadou could start in the back three. Zagadou, Hummels, Akanji. Zagadou's going to be out for a while, though. I don't think it's until like October where he could come back. And honestly, he may play 2 games and go back down. Like, Zagadou is just... He's had a terrible start so far with Dortmund. Injuries have just riddled him so far. So, I mean, he could if he stays fit, but there's no evidence to show that that's a possibility with him. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, Zagadou obviously was supposed to be an important role to our back three, back four, whatever it is. But it just hasn't been the case because he can't stay fit. Dortmund always downgrade, but people over time don't give them a chance and they turn out world class. It's one of the things that they do very good at doing. And it's replenishing this squad with how they seem fit. Hey Josh, Chelsea fan here. Sorry, call him Hudson-Odoi. Didn't appear that he was going to go on loan. Still hoping because I like BVB too. It's a big shame, man. It's a big shame. Really disappointing. I was really excited about it, but yeah, it just didn't happen. Can Pongračić play as a ball-playing defender? Do you think it's his best role? I haven't seen him play too much, man. From what I've seen, it seems like he's all right with the ball at his feet. I think we're going to get a better idea when he's in our system. From what I'm assuming, I mean, he's a center back, but I mean, he's got pace, so I think you could use him as where you would probably use like Emre Can. You use him in a back three on the outside right-hand side, move Akanji to the outside left, Hummels through the middle. That's what I'm expecting, man. Josh, you were far from the latest chat. Please read faster. All right, I'm going to skip over a bunch of chats then. If I skipped over any of yours, just ask it again because I do tend to do that. I'm pissed. Josh, I wanted to sign a winger. I'm tired of the 4-1-2-1-2. I am too, my man. I am too. I'm going to go bye. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye. What gives Bayern the edge? As a second-year fan, I didn't witness them winning 10 in a row. They have a mentality that is honestly quite ridiculous. I don't know what it is. They just, I don't know. They just find a way to get it done. They have talent. They have a specific way of play, and they're just ruthless. Good finishing. Injuries don't hit them near as hard as they sometimes hit us. I mean, I think their season would be drastically different if Lewandowski went down. But the man is a machine. I do think there's going to be some weaknesses in this team, but we're going to have to wait and see. I will reserve judgment on Rose until the transfer window under Cal. Zorc was never going to get him exactly what he needs. Fair. I think that Dortmund should have done business earlier in the window because it felt like they were a bit slow at the beginning, rushing towards the end because there wasn't enough players. That is very fair, and that is very true. We pushed ourselves into the back of the wall, which is why we saw a player like Pongračić come in. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be good because I'm kind of excited to see what he can bring. It's refreshing having a new center back. But I agree. We waited way too long. I think even the Hoffenheim game, I guess, but the Freiburg and Bayern game forced our hand a little bit. I want all the Bayern players to get constipated before the game. Why do you hate Brandt? I do not hate Brandt, guys. I do not hate any Dortmund players. If you wear the black and yellow, you're one of my guys. I do not hate Brandt. I'm harsh on Brandt because I don't think his performances have been up to speed. I wouldn't start him. He doesn't come in my starting 11, and that's just my opinion. A lot of people, my boy Max, totally disagrees. He thinks that Brandt is in for a good season. I mean, I don't see the evidence to point towards that, but it takes one good performance for Brandt to dispossess Gio's position, for example. One good game. Brandt scores a brace, comes off the bench, scores a brace, he'll be in the next game. But yeah, I absolutely do not hate him. I don't hate any Dortmund players, man. I really don't. I thought Brandt was decent a couple seasons ago, but now he's dropped to the bench. Only way I can see him improve if Rosa gives him time that he deserves. I wouldn't say deserves. See, I'm being harsh again. I don't think he's done anything to prove that he should be in the starting 11. He needs to find a consistent way of playing. He does, because he is a good footballer. It's why we spent money on him. But he just hasn't fit the system. And I don't know exactly how to make him do it, because he has to pace through the middle. So maybe in a 3-4-2-1, you put him as a center mid. Maybe as one of the floating cams. I don't know. That is cold coffee. Yes, right back looked like a shell there past. Very mediocre. What do you think of us not making, I'm assuming you were saying a signing? Disappointing. Very disappointing that we weren't able to bring in a winger. If Guerrero gets injured over the international break, who plays left back? As Schultz will also be out. Whew. Oh my, I didn't even think of that. Now, that makes me upset even thinking about that. So let's hope that desperately doesn't happen. I don't know. I don't know. You got me stumped. I mean, I don't know, my man. You got me stumped. I don't know who we could put out on the left-hand side. You could get creative with it. I mean, if Hazard's healthy, you could switch into a back three and play him at left wing back. Not my favorite position for him, but honestly, it would be Paslak. It would definitely be Paslak. 100% it would be. There's no real other options. So if both Nico and Guerrero weren't available, expect to see Paslak, man. What do you think of us making no more transfers? Yeah, it's a bummer. I wanted to see at least 2. But I got myself hyped up. That was my own fault. Should have been a little more realistic. And I mean, it's not unfair to be unrealistic because it looked like there was a real chance that the Hudson-Odoi transfer could have happened, and stubbornness was the reason it didn't. Is what it is. He's not great on the ball, lacks awareness, but he's brilliant 1v1 aerial duels. But he's like a young Brooks and is a good leader and is loud. Imposter Snape, I appreciate that. I see some good traits in there. I do. And the biggest thing about him is that he's got experience with Marco Rosa. And I like that. There's an opening for him to be successful here. We're going to have to see how it happens. Aaron says Bayern signed Sabitzer for 14 million. He's valued at 40 mil. How are BVB supposed to compete with that? Man, it's tough. It's tough. The only thing I want you guys to take away from the Sabitzer deal is that, again, it's a depth signing. So don't expect him to start. I don't know where you're going to start. They play in a 4-2-3-1. Sabitzer is not very good, in my opinion, as the 6. So you got Kimmich and Goretzka there. I mean, you're not going to start him. And if you do, it's not in his favorite position. He's more of an attacking than defending player. You're not going to start him at cam. That's where Mulla is. You're not going to start him on the wing. So, yes, Sabitzer came in for 14 million, which is a steal. But he's nothing more than a depth signing. And he's not going to get those type of minutes and type of performances that he would get at Leipzig because he's not going to be a starter at Bayern. And I don't see Nagelsmann really shifting up the shape, but we're going to have to wait and see how it happens. So, huge depth signing. Bayern had no depth, so this is fine. But it's not going to be a very impactful week in, week out type player. And that's just my opinion. But if you disagree, guys, in the chat, let me know. How important do you think Sabitzer will be for Bayern? Because I don't see a way to fit him into a starting 11. 0% chance of that. But he is a very good depth signing for a team that lacked a little bit of it. From what I heard, Tuchel blocked the Callum Hudson-Odoi deal, and I think it's because he doesn't like Dortmund anymore for not wanting the replacement. Tuchel and Dortmund didn't leave on good terms. It could be. It's quite ridiculous. Even Chelsea fans, I was supposed to have a Chelsea YouTuber on. I'm not sure if we'll still be able to get that because the deal didn't go through. Maybe we'll do it of why the deal fell through. But I read what he was saying, and he wanted this deal to go down. A lot of Chelsea supporters wanted to see Hudson-Odoi move on. And a lot of them are surprised that he wasn't. Emery Chan is out until the end of September, early October. Does this concern you? Yes and no. Yes, because, I mean, come on. It's always like there's an injury, especially at the defensive side of things. But no, because I'm hoping Witsel steps up. I wouldn't play Chan in the midfield regardless, but that's where he's obviously going to play. But we have Bellingham, we have De Hood, and we have Witsel there. It sucks the lack of depth that Chan could have helped if we wanted to play back 3. He could have been available as a right back. I mean, no player going down on an injury is a good thing. But the fact that we were able to get Pongračić in is similar to where I would expect to see Chan. Outside right center back. And then put Witsel back in the midfield. So, yeah, kind of sucks, man. I hate Brandt because he has a silent D in his name. Like, who does that? So Halstenberg and okay, deals are now over. I'm assuming maybe you didn't really mean Mukiele, did you? Because we were never linked to Mukiele, and that would have been an incredible signing. The Halstenberg deal looks dead and buried. We may get him next year on a free. If you're talking about Noni was never going to happen this transfer, and neither was Mukiele. But we have Marco Reus and Marco Rosa. We do. And yeah, what do I think about Berkey refusing? I don't blame him. Not his fault. He got the contract. It was Dortmund who gave it to him. All it shows me, Berkey lacks ambition, which is something that just speaks to kind of where he is in his career. No pass lack. Unless there's a drastic change in young footballers' interest in football and somehow 18-year-olds want to be footballers stop existing, I think we will be fine. Where there's a youngster, there's a Dortmund scout. Your answer depressed me regarding the left back position. It's a fact, though, guys. There's no one else who can play there. It's in this order. It would go Guerrero. If Guerrero's not available, it would go Nico. Hopefully, if Hazard's fit, and again, big if Hazard's fit, I bet you we could maybe shift into a back 3 and play Hazard at left wing back. But if we're playing in a back 4, the third string left back is Paslak, and right now he's probably the third string right back. With the even bigger imbalance in our team and the strong improvements, my Mob and Leverkusen, plus Holland is taken out of the game better and better. I'm afraid we can say goodbye to CL next year. That's a big overreaction, my guy. If we miss out on Champions League, that's a shame. This team is too good to miss out on Champions League. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. I was hoping for a title push this year. I'm worried about not giving Bayern one. I am. That's my biggest worry. I'm not worried about Champions League whatsoever. I think that we're beyond good enough to do it, even with the personnel we have. Hopefully when everyone's back, healthy, fit, we're going to be smiling, we're going to be laughing. There is a lot of talent, but the big difference that I was worried about was this team, I don't know if it can compete for the title. And that's what ultimately we want. We want to compete with the title. We want to compete with Bayern. And to do that, I feel like this team needed to add some other pieces to the puzzle to do that. But I'm not worried about CL. If you guys are, though, feel free to put it in the comments. But that's not my concern right now. My concern is challenging Bayern for the title, and that's where the issue comes in. Josh, I think Brandt should have started more games, like the Super Cup. Starting Mukuku in a Super Cup game against Bayern was a mistake. Hope you agree. I agree that starting Mukuku was a mistake, but I would have started Mullen. I wouldn't have started Brandt. I'm not even sure if Brandt was available. Correct me if I'm wrong, but no, I wouldn't have started Brandt at all in any of the games so far. He's got an option now that he's back healthy again to work his way into the team, and that's the best route for him. But I agree that Mukuku in the Bayern game was a mistake. It should have been Mullen if we were going to play in the 4-1-2-1-2. Chelsea keeping Callum Hudson-Odoi to sit on the bench, and they're literally looking to sign more players. Sal just shows that they're lopsided money nowadays. It's so difficult. That's a fair fact. It's an excellent fact, and I don't know how to add to that. The money's in the Prem. That's what it is. The money's in the Prem, man. Sabitzer is sloppy. Isaiah, my guy, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, it's a good signing. 14 million for Sabitzer is a good signing, but again, it's nothing more than depth. I think the biggest thing is that he's good in the air and he might help out in set pieces, attacking and defending. I'm hoping, because set piece defending has been atrocious for Dortmund over the years, and if Pongračić can tighten things up at the back, that's a win-win for us, guys. Sabitzer as Cam, does Pongračić have an option to buy? He does, so it's a win-win for us. It's a win-win. Pongračić comes in to a familiar manager, into a system, Dortmund, that has an option for him to play at the back, in a back three, in a back four, and we have an option to buy. So like I said, if he's successful, it's a decent price, and if he's not, right back to Wolfsburg. Thanks for the Band-Aid over our back line for the year. And Sabitzer as Cam, that's where I guess in a 4-2-3-1, in my eyes, the only real position he can play is at Cam. However, they could easily kind of swap it into a 4-3-3 if Mola needs a break, and then you could put Sabitzer in the midfield with Goretzka and Kimmich as your 6. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's a depth signing. But if you guys are just tuning in, be sure to drop a like, be sure to drop a sub, and give me your thoughts on Dortmund's transfer window. With the window going down to the final minutes, and I was having a small hope that something was going to happen. Doesn't look like that will be the case. Refreshing transfer mark to see if anything exciting happened here. Maximovic, the free agent from Napoli, got signed by Genoa. Doesn't really affect us. Reece Nelson got signed by Feyenoord. Again, doesn't help us. Yeah, so no, nothing really exciting happened there. But Bayern will struggle without depth. Yep, I agree with that. Sabitzer is Leipzig's heart. If anything, it makes the competition easier for Bayern, and that's a gap in the top. And that's a good point. That's a very good point. I think young players should choose Dortmund over most clubs because Haaland, Sancho, etc. Again, I think that's why Callum Hudson-Odoi was really interested in coming. Dortmund should have gotten Julian Araujo, best young defensive right back in MLS. It could be an option. Obviously, there was no links whatsoever, but eventually, depending how this year goes, we're going to need to address the right back position. I think you should finish outside of the top 4, so no Champions League, but you can regroup and stay more healthy. There's no way Dortmund are going to finish outside the top 4, and if it is, Marco Rose will be lucky to keep his job. This team is too talented to stay outside the top 4. It is. Leipzig's got an atrocious start. They've had a worse start than we have. Wolfsburg has been 3-0. Impressive. A couple of the games, I mean, they've only won, I think, by 1 goal each game. So, again, there's still some question marks about them. They replenished their squad really well, though. Leverkusen looks pretty good, too. Gladbach looks poor. If everyone was shooting right away, maybe you could argue that there's concern, but For me, I'm not concerned about a top 4 finish. I'm concerned about competing with Bayern, which is what we were expecting before the season started. We have depth. A depth of 15 average players now. Holland, Guerrero, Kanji, international class. Sometimes Royce, he's getting old. Royce is class, my man. Dortmund make young talent shine. That is true. You think that the Pongračić loan could stall Koulibaly development? No, because Koulibaly's injured, and we don't know what to expect from him. He's also very, very young. The window isn't officially closed. Sal deal reopened. That's what I'm praying on, man, but I think we're just shooting at dust. I'm going to go watch my first football game this Thursday, Canada versus Honduras. I'm so excited to see Davies, David Buchanan, Eustachio, Laren, etc. Joseph, my man, I love it. Be sure to send me pictures, videos on Twitter, and I'll try to get them up on our watch-along. OC's come in, sorry a little late, was enjoying the nice barbecue. Their window's a 4 out of 10 for me. What's your reaction when Dortmund didn't sign Sabitzer? I was happy. I didn't want Sabitzer. We didn't need him. OC became a member again on the channel. I appreciate it, OC. You guys are helping today. A couple new members. Always appreciated helping this channel continue growing, and it's really appreciated. So big shout to our 2 new members today, even though OC was already a member, but it means a lot, my friends. I really appreciate it. Tom says, one thing I've been impressed with this window is some of the creativity, interesting signings made by other Bundesliga teams. Yeah, keyword other. The Pongračić deal was a strategic one for a few reasons. Like I said, it's a loan deal, option to buy, Bundesliga experience with Marco Rosa. It could be a good signing. I just think we needed a little bit more, man. What happened to Ansgar Canal if he could have filled the winger role? It's a good question. I don't know. I think there's a chance that Canal could be integrated back in. It doesn't seem like he is going to get that look. Maybe that's because we thought we were going to get a winger. I do think Canal will get some minutes. He will be used from time to time, but that just tells me right now Marco Rosa doesn't trust him enough to start him from the get-go. Bit early to judge Paslak. He's old school CM. Okay. Give a percentage chance of Dortmund winning the Bundesliga at the end of the season. I'd say 40. Now it's more like 25. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Maybe closer to 20%. A lot of things would have to go right for Dortmund right now. I'm talking about hitting a system that is flawless, players buying in, and then also the biggest thing, which is hard to bet on, is Bayern slipping up. How are Bayern going to slip up? There's been some performances already early on for Bayern that are cause of concern. I mean, arguably they should have lost the Gladbach game. The 3-2 win over Cologne was not a good match whatsoever for Bayern. However, they came back and they showed what Bayern are made of, running over Hertha. So it'll be interesting. This is the worst transfer window since the 18-19 summer when we lost Dembele and bought Yarmolenko under Schürrle. No, that one, the 17-18 one was way worse, man. Way worse. But I mean, I don't know. There, like I said, there is a lot of things to be excited about in this window. We don't know what's going to happen for Malen, man. We don't. Malen could be an incredible little signing there. And Pongračić can be as well. But these were the signings that we should expecting. It's my own fault for getting myself fired up that we could have got in Hudson-Odoi. I wanted him too, man. I did. Any other big signings in the Bundesliga that could happen? I haven't seen any. I'll go back on Transfermarkt right now, guys, and refresh it and take a look if there was any signings. Looks like Stuttgart picked up a young Dane. But again, not a household name by any stretch. Sam Lammers came in from Atalanta, joining Frankfurt, a player that they desperately needed. They've had a really poor start as well. Greuther Fürth picked up a Rangers center forward. Just a bit of a depth signing there. But nothing too special, in my opinion, that's happened so far in the Bundesliga towards the end today. Going into the third thing here. And yeah, there's not a whole bunch. Not a whole bunch has happened, but the window is coming to a close very, very soon, my man. So we will find out. Can we trust Bamba to take a winger role? He's having a wonderful start with the U19s. I wouldn't expect anyone besides Knauf to come up and get some reps in the main squad. I see us finishing third. Wolfsburg looks good. Yeah, I'd be very careful so far with Wolfsburg, though, guys. I would. The thing, like I said, I like about them is that their team is playing really well under Mark van Bommel. We're going to have to see how Van Bommel can handle the pressure because, I don't think he was the perfect replacement as a coach. And some of their performances were questionable. I mean, when they beat, I think it was Bochum, they beat Bochum 1-0, and they were up a man the entire game. Really unconvincing win, but they did find a way to take 9 points from a possible 9. So we'll see. You skipped me. How do you rate the transfer window out of 10? Sorry, my man. I'd say probably a 6. Probably a 6. I was disappointed. I wanted to see at least another player, whether it was the right back, preferably for me. Pongračić and a winger would have been ideal. It would have been. It would have made me feel a lot more confident going in, especially being able to switch up the shape. But, so I don't know. I still think Kobel is a huge W. I'm excited to see what Malen can do. We're going to have to see. When is the window officially closing? 5 minutes. The Bundesliga 1 closes in 5 minutes. Hudson-Odoi wage is high, I guess. Yeah. Terzic is goated. I think so. Do you think we should look to sign a 6 next season? Absolutely we should. Witsel will 100% leave. So we need to sign a CDM, and I'm thinking like Guimaraes from Lyon, player like that. But I can't really give you guys any suggestions quite yet, but we will definitely be targeting a center mid at some point. Maybe Van de Beek. Not really the 6 that we need, but the Bayern Liga since Bayern brought all the Leipzig stars. No. Josh, I think we should start Hitz in the upcoming Declassicers. Kobel looked good, but I think Hitz is more experienced and will save Lewandowski's goal. No chance that's going to happen. Sorry, my man. Hitz will not start or shouldn't start a single Bundesliga match. He shouldn't start a single Champions League match. Kobel is a much better keeper than Hitz and Berkey. Berkey's not going to touch anything. Kobel will, like I said, start every Champions League game, every Bundesliga game. Hitz will maybe start the Pokals, with maybe the exception of the semis and finals. But yeah, I mean, Kobel has looked really good so far, man. It was worse, but this is the worst sense that, in my opinion. Hudson-Odoi is sad, but no right back is an absolute crime. But guys, like I've said it many times, many times on the channel. I said it right from the beginning of the transfer window. Do not expect Dortmund to sign a right back. I said there was almost 0% chance. That's why I was so surprised when the low rumors were going around. It just wasn't. I was expecting a player like Pongračić. I was expecting him because he's a center back, can maybe shift a little bit to the right, and then I was expecting a winger. That's what I was expecting. We didn't get the winger. Seems like a bit of an L. I wasn't expecting a right back, and there's no reason to expect a right back. We have Meunier. We have a right back. So is it the right back that everyone loves and wants so badly? No, but it's the right back that it was almost common sense to think that the board isn't going to go out. You saw how tight we were with our money this transfer window. So when it came to signing a right back, what is the board going to do? And I've said this exact line probably 10 times. The board's like, okay, we have Meunier. He started for Belgium at the Euros and had an all-right Euros. What's to worry? We're not going to go out and buy another player. We have Meunier on wages for the next few years. He's our guy. He's our right back. And guess what? We have depth. We have Murray, who's out for the year, yes, but Chan can fill in there. We also have Paslak, who we just re-signed. I would have been surprised if we did go out and sign a right back. The only reason the low rumors actually came to fruition is because how shocking Paslak's performance were. That is my opinion. The board probably was like, okay, maybe we should do something about this just to push maybe Meunier a little bit because Paslak's clearly not going to do that. And then they chose against it and they found a different solution. But I didn't expect the right back whatsoever. So I think saying it's a crime is a stretch because the board thinks that we have a proper right back that will be here for the entire season and that will be healthy, and that is Meunier. We needed to bring in a center back, and we did. We brought in our Sancho replacement, which was Malen. Wasn't a like for like, I get that. We let Delaney go, which was interesting, but we had Witsel coming back, so you can make an argument, but we still lacked a winger, and that is what we didn't get, and I think that's really going to hurt us. Hazard and Malen on the wings, Holland through the middle would be pretty damn good. Yep, and you could play Royce as Cam, which would leave Gio then on the bench. I think that would definitely could be an option, but again, it's depending on how Hazard's form and fitness will look. I hope Bayern starts slipping after thrashing Barcelona in the Champions League. Bayern will only grow under Nagelsmann and get better. squandering chances to build a lead. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they've already looked a little bit better in that Hertha game, but it's still going to be a work in progress. Just like we can arguably say that Dortmund should be getting better under Marco Rose, especially with our players coming back. If we win the league, we might have some money to spend next season before Haaland leaves, which could be a strong foundation. Yeah, I wouldn't hold our breath, guys, on winning the Bundesliga. But we're going to have to see, man. Maybe everyone just steps up. Now that everyone's healthy, Malen thrives. We don't know. We're so early in on the season. But I would have liked the team to shape up a little bit differently after this transfer window, and it didn't quite happen. But the transfer window, guys, is officially closed. And I don't see any surprise transfers coming in late. Very disappointing. Still, I don't know why I have hope, but that's it. Our signings. We've brought in a new manager. Edin Terzic is still with us at Dortmund, but we've brought in Marco Rose. We've then brought in a new keeper in Gregor Kobel. We've brought in Daniel Malen. We've brought in Kamara. We have Koulibaly who's coming in. And, of course, our newest man, Pongračić. So those are our signings coming in. I mean, Kobel's a starter. Malen should be a starter. Pongračić could potentially be a starter or give us options at the back. It's an interesting window. We've let Delaney walk. We've let Sancho not walk, but we had an agreement to let him go. I don't know, man. I don't know. By the way, I don't have Twitter, so I'll send you pictures of the game. Can I send them on Instagram? Yes, you can, my man. Yes, you can. Wolfsburg are lucky, Gladbach unlucky. Yeah. Wolfsburg signed a young defender from the Netherlands called Michi van de Ven as a coverage. Another good movement there. I feel like Wolfsburg are an outside shot to win the league. I wouldn't mind it a lot. I don't think Wolfsburg will win the league, guys. I don't. I think their chances at Champions League drastically improved after this incredible window. But it's a long season. I still don't think they have what it takes to push for the league. But a top 4 finish, absolutely. Do you think Dortmund will do much business in the winter window? Depends on how the season's looking. It hurts seeing United fans saying that they've had a bad transfer window because they haven't brought in a CDM. They brought in Ronaldo and Sancho and Rafael Varane. Do you think Zorc will retire at the end of the season? Can Kel do better than him? I'm hoping he might be a little bit more aggressive than him, but I really like the replacement. I do. I'm not cussing, or it won't happen, but if we need a new coach, we can give our chance to our U23 coach. More than likely, if we replace Rosa, which I don't think will happen throughout the season, it's going to go to Terzic again. Gonna miss the Riviera Derby this year. Schalke look like they're selling Hoppy to Mallorca. Sad to see him. Or pretty sad to see. Yeah, but I mean, Schalke isn't going to get promoted this year. They look terrible already. So, what would be one of the unknown U23s that you think can be a superstar? The Latvian bias? I don't know, man. I don't know if you count Kamara, but I mean, a lot of hype is going around for him. What's to worry? Have you seen Meunier's performances last season against Bayern? We have no chance of playing against Alphonso Davies, Gnabry. No, and I don't disagree with you, my man. Do not disagree with you. I'm just kind of saying how it is. The board doesn't see Meunier as a liability. They see him as a solid right back that they got for free, that they've invested in. He's playing at a high level. He played in the Euros for Belgium. What's not to like? And then the fans are saying, have you watched him actually play for Dortmund? So, yeah, I mean, I would have been surprised, like I said, if we brought in a right back. So I was personally never expecting one, but I was expecting maybe another winger and a center back. And then especially after seeing our opening matches, a winger was so important to me, and I'm a little gutted we weren't able to pull it off. Pongračić will be maybe a good sneaky little signing, but I don't know, man. I think we're going to regret it. But I do take your point on Meunier. His performances for Dortmund have been very underwhelming. There's no getting around that. But like I said, the board doesn't have money to spend. So why, in their eyes, Meunier is a starting fullback in the Bundesliga. So they're not going to go out and replace him. They're not. And we saw that. The panic, I thought, set in after Passlack's performance, and nothing was done. If they continue to play the 4-1-2-1-2, How could you give 6 games? If we continue to play the 4-1-2-2, how could you give 6 games? I'm not sure what you mean. How will we do after 6 games? If that's what you're saying. I think that Marco Rose will look to switch. And like I said, seeing Mullen drift out to the wing in the Hoffenheim match, plus players coming back, I'm thinking we may not see the 4-1-2-1-2, but we'll have to see. I think too many BVB fans have a losing mentality. I understand that Bayern is good, but we have to stop worrying so much about what they're doing. I wouldn't say that Dortmund fans have a losing mentality. I feel like a lot of them, at least on Twitter, are very vocal about not winning games, dropping points. I mean, we have a very reactionary fan base. I wouldn't say it's a losing mentality. I think they can get down on the team and the players right away and say that we have no ambition, blah blah blah. But it's like I said, if the next time Dortmund wins the league, it's when everything goes right and when Bayern slip up. The 18-19 season was an almost perfect example. If Marco Reus and Paco could have stayed healthy a little longer, I think we could have easily took that season. And Bayern was shooting themselves in the foot and still won the league. We need to pray that Bayern drops points every chance that they get, and we need to be almost flawless, and we've already lost the game very early on. We don't have a proper formation, I don't think, lined up. We didn't get the proper replacements I think we need, but we still have personnel there to do some damage, and we're going to have to wait and see how it goes into fruition, because we may find something that works, that clicks, and just like the Christmas tree formation last season, we found something that worked, and we ran with it. But we don't have time to fudge around. We don't have time to keep testing out this 4-1-2-1-2 and dropping points, because the more points we drop, every time we do it, I think put 10% lower chance we have of winning the league. That's just how it works if you want to be perfect to win against Bayern. Last transfer window for Legend Zorc in BVB. What are your thoughts on Zorc leaving, and can Kell fill his shoes? I think he can. I definitely think he can. I think it was a 6 out of 10. A bang average last window. I think Hudson-Odoi signing or a winger signing could have bumped it up to a 7, 7.5, but I think every big club knows the weaknesses is in the fullbacks, and I'm talking about the Champions League. Guerrero is very good. Yes, and honestly, man, you make a great point. And right now, like I said, when someone asks me, what's your perfect formation? I love a 4-2-3-1. You guys all know that. But we do not have proper wingers. We do not. So if you're looking at a shape, in my opinion, that answers the width, you can get players that are allowed to drift, have fun. The perfect formation for me is pretty simple, and it is the 3-4-2-1. Kobel in net, Meunier at right wing back, which you can arguably put Wolf there. Hopefully someone, maybe even Hazard. Find someone at that right wing back spot that works. Pray that Pongračić can come in and do a job at the outside right center back. Hummels at his best is through the middle in a back 3. Akanji is good on the left-hand side. He's played there before. Guerrero by far is better at a left wing back. You have midfield options, Bellingham for sure with either De Hood or Witsel. Floating cams, you now have Brandt you can put there. You now have Royce, who 100% will be there. You can put Gio, you can try them all in there. And then your one main man up front, which is Holland, which he has to play as a lone striker right now. On paper, to me, it gives you width with the fullbacks, bombing up and down the pitch. Guerrero, maybe Hazard, Wolf, maybe Meunier. The defensive coverage in the back 3. Midfielders, probably Witsel and Bellingham right now, dropping De Hood because of some iffy performances. That's my perfect formation right now, man. Because in a back 4, like I said, pace can sometimes hurt Hummels. Defensive ability can hurt Guerrero. Meunier is Meunier. I don't know, man. Miss the old Royce. Josh, do you remember the old Champions League match against Madrid? I do, but Royce is in an excellent form, man. He's in very good form. I think he's going to have another good season. Don't to go to BVB. That would have been a nice little signing. I agree. But, I mean, Hudson-Odoi, in my opinion, would have been a little bit more influential. What do you think of the plan is for the PSG transfer? For Abdullah, he will play, and if so, what position? I think if anything right now, because of the Pongračić signing, and we let Delaney walk, I think he would get some looks maybe in the midfield, but I wouldn't bank on him coming up anytime soon. The number 6 position, defensive mid, Rosa plays De Hood on defensive mid. Yeah, our 2 6s right now, I mean, Witsel is a 6. De Hood, in my opinion, is more of an 8, but can play as a 6, and that's what we should be expecting to see. Hello, Josh. I know you're doing. Hope you're doing well. You have any ideas? Do you have any ideal wingers that we can sign possibly today? So the window's done now, my man. So we won't be signing anybody today. No wingers coming in. So, bum. Leipzig, oh yeah, that for 15 mil, that is a steal. Yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. You getting hyped for qualifiers yet? I am, my man. I am. This might be, yeah, I am. I'm really looking forward to it, especially that US game, see what we could have got. Should have signed Doku. Didn't have the money to do that. Unless Rennes were going to be willing to let him go on a loan, which they definitely were not. But we'll have to see. Canalv is playing as the left wing back for Dortmund too. Yep, I've seen him play at the wing back position before, guys. I'm very skeptical about it. I don't picture him as a wing back, especially at the level of the Bundesliga. If he's going to play in the Bundesliga, he needs to play as a right attacking mid, left attacking mid. Definitely not as a wing back. But maybe you can test him at the right wing back spot. But we'll have to see. But we're going to wrap it up for the day, guys. This will be the last comment. Actually, I'll do a couple more. This one says, oh crap, I thought there were still hours left. Nope, it is not. How far can the US go in the 2022 World Cup? I think they'd be lucky to get to the quarters. Sorry, US men's national team fans. Goal should be definitely get out of the group. And depending on who they get lined up with, it's hard to predict. Boateng officially signs for Lyon a 2-year deal. I think that's a good little move for him. And the last comment of the day is going to Angie. She tuned in right at the very end. Says, hey, what's going on? Live streamed here until the transfer window was closed. It's officially closed. No deals came in, obviously, for Dortmund. Probably expected. And yeah, we didn't get Hudson-Odoi. We did sign Pongračić, and that's all she wrote. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you can be so kind to drop one more like on the video on the way out. Drop a sub if you guys are new around here, and we'll see you guys soon. Appreciate you tuning in. Fun little transfer stream, and let's pray Dortmund can get back to work after the international break. Cheers, friends.